Welcome everyone to this new episode of Legion in Short. Today we're going to talk about the 4i because I feel like somewhat in this meta it is quite important to point out the strengths and the options you do have with the 4i. First of all, let's have a look at the codex because I think the stats might matter a bit. The 4i is at 240 Mythium Cent, which makes it available mostly after wave 10. There are some cases where you send a 4 in on 9 or 10, but those are a lot more limited, and I think the most common is after 10, starting 11. 11 of 4i is quite often quite a decent send. What does a 4i do? Well, first of all, 4i is a magic damage dealing unit, and as you know, there aren't that many magic damage units that are of lower cost, especially not that deal that amount of damage, because you have the Dragon Turtle, but Dragon Turtle is more a tank than a magic damage dealer. And besides some early game cases like Flower, I think you usually don't send Dragon Turtle for its magic damage. Then you have imps, but imps are special since they are walking within the wave, such as a brute, mole, or a pack leader. So they can get sniped quite easily. And then there's the Drake and the 4i, which is double the cost of the Drake. But what does the 4i else make special? Because the magic damage is already something very special. There's a lot of combos, especially with waves 11, 12, 13 being good with natural armor, where a 4i can go against and break your opponent's build. But on top of this, the 4i is the go-to unit to break large tanks, since it does have around the same ability as you see at Berserker or Halo, which is ramping up damage. So it deals 5 bonus magic damage for each consecutive attack against the same target. And as we can see, it does 2.33 attacks per second. So you can see there's a ramp up of around 12 damage per second, which is already quite a lot and can be very efficient, especially against larger targets. Such larger targets are, for example, Kingpins, you have the Phoenix, you have Sovereign or Avenger, you have White Mains, Golems, all those, maybe Red Eyes. There's a bunch of possible targets. But now, what about the 4i? When do I use it? So I think we just pointed out that the one usage for a 4i is big tanks. Second option for the 4i is, you know your opponent is weak on a certain wave and is gonna leak anyway, but you want to finish the game on such a way. And a 4i at the king is always some extra source of pressure, right? There's some units, as they reach the king, they give you extra amount of pressure, which is 4i, because the 4i is mostly first not getting attacked at the very first, but rather another unit. And then it starts ramping up. The DPS per second of the 4i is now higher than the DPS per second of any other unit, and the king is now gonna attack the 4i. Which means the 4i is gonna get some hits on the king and being able to deal quite a lot of damage. Plus, obviously, it will always be a target the king will have to care about, and this makes it a threat to the king. Another thing is that 4i is really good in the comment waves you go for ascent, because as I just pointed out, 11, 12, 13, they're all waves where natural armor is a very good defense, or even other sources of armor like fortified can be good in most of those waves, and 4 is just one of the best counters to go against these armor types. And one thing I want to point out as well in this video is how you can effect 4i pathing. Very first, at the defender's side. We see it here, we have a bunch of high HP units on the left side. So this is something you usually see, right? If you saw my video about splitting, you want your main DPS, your main carries channeled on one side. Usually it's the left to be able to split better, because you won't be able to do exactly that what I'm showing you on the other side, at least not as good. We do have all those big units here on that side, and if you want to lead a 4i away from those units, we can just do upper split. Upper split describes the split that is half a square higher than the split on the left side, or the highest unit on the left side. Always be aware that this has to happen on the very wall, right? If we now had the Phoenix somewhere here, this build is going to change again. But if you have your highest unit on that side, your highest melee unit on that side, and then you can put another unit half a square up on the other side, this is considered a upper split. Because what's going to happen now is, as we see in the 4i, the 4i is going to go to the left, to the right side. Now you can obviously put more tanks down there to keep the 4i on the other side and give your units in the main side this extra time. Alright, this is the thing you can do against the 4i besides obviously deep coil. But let's go on. What can you do as a sender of 4i? First tip is try to not get your 4i sniped, and to do so you can add a lizard. If you do not add any other ranged sens than the 4i, you can just simply add one lizard, and you will see that the lizard is going to position to the left of the 4i, and this way units that might path up, I think the best way to maybe show this is 11. The 4i is not going to get sniped immediately, but first it's lizard time. So as you can see here now, the 4i is getting pulled a bit more to the right side, so those units will have to kill this half first and then the 4i. Besides, if I do send no lizard, the 4i is going to be a lot more to the left side, and this way getting targeted a lot faster and might get sniped out the wave. So in case to not have a 4i sniped with a strong side of your opponent on the left, just add a lizard to push the 4i even more to the right side. This can as well help with, for example, deep coilers and sea serpents to push the 4i away from those. And last trick, a very important one, if your opponent is aware of the upper split scenario, you can just in later waves send a double 4i. Same principle as the lizard, one 4i is getting pushed a bit more to the right side, but the other one is going to stay a bit more on the left side because now there's two ranged units. So you will have one 4i directly targeting the left side, the unit you want to attack. For example, a Phoenix. You often see it, a Phoenix in this position, for example. You can see the first 4i directly went on the Kingpin, and you can snipe out this one big unit at the upper left that you otherwise can't target because your opponent is aware of the upper split scenario. I think the 4i should be a good go for you now in your ranked games. I hope you enjoyed the video. Maybe you have questions, let me know in the comments. Have a good time. Bye bye.